We are continuing our coverage of the aftermath of a deadly crash. It's taken more now than 2 years to reach this point. From what you see behind us right now, a chaotic scene on Magnolia Avenue, and that we first showed you back in January of 23.
Yeah, investigators say drivers of the cars involved were drag racing when they ran a red light at the Milligan Street intersection.
Yeah, you know, the cars then collided with an SUV. The driver of that vehicle died. Then one of the cars involved in the drag race smashed into a building.
You see the aftermath here this week. The second of 2 drivers charged is on trial. WATE 6 on your side reporter Ella Wales now joins us from outside the courtroom. Ella, tell us about testimony so far in this case.
Bo and Lori, the court heard from 5 witnesses today before the state rested its case. We told you earlier about 3 law enforcement officers that assisted in the investigation that took the stand, but after them came the assistant medical examiner who performed Michael Williams, the crash victim's autopsy. She described the severe injuries he suffered in the crash. His daughter was the last person to take the stand today. Her 2 young children, a daughter and a son, were also injured in the crash. She described to the court the effect that it's had on their lives.
He's had 2 hip surgeries since the car wreck. My son had very serious trauma and lacerations on his face, so they both had to have reconstructive surgery. You know, she wasn't able to move on in kindergarten. She had to do kindergarten again because it was tested so low and she just missed so much school.
The state has rested its case, like we mentioned, which means tomorrow the defense will have the chance to call up any witnesses if they'd like to. Clark also has to make the decision if she will take the stand herself in tomorrow's testimony. Court will resume at 10:30 tomorrow. Reporting in Knoxville, Ella Wales, 6 on your side.
All right, Ella, thank you. You know, we mentioned a moment ago that Clark is one of 2 drivers charged in connection with that deadly crash.
You know, the other driver pleaded guilty back in April. That plea from Trayshawn Glass was for 1 count of homicide by drag racing and 2 counts of reckless aggravated assault. He was sentenced last year to 12 years in prison. Now, Glass appealed that punishment, arguing that he was not a dangerous criminal, but an appeals court stuck to the original sentence, deciding it was appropriate considering Glass's lack of hesitation in taking part in such a risky behavior as drag racing.